Hi everyone, this is Dr. Ankit Goel, your Psychiatry faculty. I hope you're doing really well. Now as we know that we have INICET exam coming in a few days, this video is to discuss some of the important points towards the strategy, how to utilize these last 7 days so that we can get a good rank in INICET exam. Again, over the years we have been seeing students doing really well in the INICET exam are those who are able to utilize these last remaining days of the exam judiciously to the best of their ability. So let's very quickly discuss some of the important points about this strategy. Now this strategy I call it is the map towards your goal, where M is a very important and essential part, that is the mindset. Now, first of all, I want you to understand that it is just another exam. You have given so many important exams in your life. It is just another exam. Don't get too much overwhelmed by it. Do your best in the coming 7 days and let's leave the rest on the higher power which you may believe in. It may be God, maybe destiny. So let's give it our best and let's not overthink about the results, about the outcome. Also very important, I want you to focus on things which are in your control. Let's focus on things which we can do in these coming 7 days. And let's not focus on things which are not under your control. So if you have not done well in the past, if you feel that I could have done better, let's not focus on those things. Let's just focus on things which we have control over. So let's prepare, let's study. These are the things which we can do, which we have control over. Also importantly, I want you to start thinking that yes, I can clear this exam. It's very important to have that very positive frame of mind. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, most of the time you are right. So let's start thinking that I can clear this exam, I can get a good rank in this exam, and I can get a good seat in some of the topmost premier institutes of the country. So let's start thinking positively. Let's ignore anything which is a negative around us. So let's ignore those things and focus on only about clearing the exam, thinking that yes, I can clear the exam. Now next and very important point which I'm going to discuss now is A, that is the action plan. So let's discuss some of the important points. Now in the last 7 days, you should focus on the previous year topics, especially in INICET exam. We've been seeing again and again that the previous year topics are getting repeated, and also sometimes the questions also get repeated, especially the last few years exam. So if you have revised those previous year questions, so please continue with the previous year topics. Also go through all the important topics once. So the last 7 days are very important for going through whatever you have revised. So just flip through the pages. Let's flip through some of the important topics. Now also one important material which we have is the last resort revision, the LRR at Prep Ladder. So if you have been following LRR, you can also quickly revise some of the important topics from LRR. Again, it is a very individualized approach. Let's discuss some of the important points, areas which you can cover in these 7 days. Again, for INICET exam, especially the first and the second year subjects are very important. So again, one should have a good hold of these first and second year subjects. Short subjects also you can go through quickly, subjects such as PSM, and also some of the major subjects, final year subjects. Go through some of the important topics. Go through the volatile topics which you tend to forget, which are important, some of the tables in biochemistry, anatomy, images. So anything, again, it is individualized. Some people may have some strong subjects, some may have some other strong subjects. So try to see what are your strong and weak areas. Accordingly, try to revise some of the important volatile topics. And again, very important for INICET exam, as we know that the new updates, drugs. So you must be having a list of all those updates. At least go once through those updates, drugs, in the last 7 days. Some of the topics which are frequently asked in INICET exam, such as trauma, dissection images in anatomy, graphs in subjects such as physio, then milestones in pediatric, and so many other topics are very unique to INICET exam. So let's focus on some of those important topics in the last 7 days. Now also we know that now there is a change in the exam pattern. The exam will be having 4 parts. each of these parts will be having 50 questions and you have to do in 45 minutes each. So total of 200 questions in 180 minutes. Importantly, you're not allowed to go back to the previous part once it is over. So again, time management becomes really important for the exam. So for getting a sync or a hold over this pattern, what you can do, you can in once or twice you can solve 50 questions in 45-minute duration, and that you can do especially during that time of the day in which you are going to have the exam on 19th of May. So that will also help you get in sync with the exam time as well. And also, in fact, during these days, try to be active during that part of the day when you're going to give exam. So this will help you get your biological rhythm also in sync with the day of the exam. So that you can do, so that we are able to solve these questions. And also, when you're solving questions during the last 7 days, don't think or don't overthink about the scores. Just try to do it that you are improving your time management. Now also, when we are solving, when we have a crunch of time, many a times it is our instincts which usually get us right. So when your instincts are saying that this answer is correct, most of the time you are right. So always try to see if you can follow your instincts. Very important strategies is to rule out the other options. If you are able to rule out one option, your chances of getting the right answer increases from 25 to 33%. And if you're able to rule out two options, then it is nearly 50% you have a probability of getting the right answer. So usually we say that if you're able to rule out one option, then you can try to tick the answer of that question. Many times you may get long questions. Again, when you have a crunch of time, last line usually may be the lifesaver. Try to read it carefully, see the options. Many times you may be able to solve the question. Also, when we are getting images or when we are getting questions in which more than one options are correct, it's good to see that you can see the options first and then you can come back to the images, so that you know where you need to focus. Also, when there are more than one correct option, so suppose in the options of the question, maybe option number A is there in all the 4 options of the answer, so you may not have to spend a lot of time seeing that option. So again, this strategy may help us in these types of questions. Now, strategy on the day of the exam: try to have a good sleep a night before the exam, reach the center well on time. Again, all these things will help us decrease anxiety on the day of the exam. Now also, many times this question is, should we go aggressively in the INICET exam or should we follow a cautious approach? Now again, over the years we have seen that most of the time for INICET exam, to get a good rank, going aggressive is usually the key. Until unless you feel the exam is very difficult, then you may hold back a bit, you may be cautious, but most of the time it is seen that going all out, going aggressively when you're solving the MCQs is really important. Now very important, very crucial is, since we now have going to be, the exam will be in sections. Once a section is done, it is done and dusted. Don't think, don't analyze about the previous section during the exam. It's very important. Analyze it once you have completed the paper. Don't analyze, don't overthink, because 1 or 2 questions gone wrong in the previous section may spoil some of the other MCQs in the upcoming section. So please don't worry about the previous section, focus on the coming sections. Also, reviewing will also be tricky. Try to put less questions in review and try to spare a few minutes in the end of each section, so that if you've reviewed any question, you can again go back and see those answers and you can mark those answers. So again, this is very important about the strategy. And the last and very important is, be persistent, have patience during these 7 days. Again, one of the important points is that these 7 days can be a game changer. Even if you are thinking that I'm focusing on NEET PG, I'm just going to give INICET exam just for getting a feel of it, it's okay, but follow some of the important points, follow the topics which have been asked. It will not just be helpful in NEET PG, but you never know, you may do really well in the INICET exam as well. So again, keep smiling, keep moving forward, take one day at a time, take one session of study at a time, and I'm sure you're going to do really well. So also, all my best wishes to all of you, really wanting and waiting to listen to your success story after the exam. So all the very best. May God bless you all.